Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Joni Ogg, and on behalf of TravelProfessionalNews.com, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar, and I appreciate your taking the time out of your day to be here with all of us. And today is going to be super fun. It's always super fun with the Nexion ladies, but we have with us Carlin Okamura, Erica Banghart, and Crystal Hay with Nexion Travel Group. And I'm going to share a little bit about them with you. So Carlin Okamura is a sales manager with Nexion, and Carlin has experience in travel, with travel advisors in both the leisure and corporate markets. She's got more than 37 years of travel industry experience, and she's played a very strategic role in growing Nexion Travel Group's membership. And Carlin works and resides in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And Erica Banghart is a sales manager with Nexion, and in her role, Erica recruits new to the industry advisors. In addition, she supports the Travel Leaders of Tomorrow program as an instructor and program specialist. And Erica has more than 20 years of experience in the travel industry. And she works and resides in another beautiful place, the mountains of central Colorado. And Crystal Hay is a sales specialist with Nexion. Crystal has over 15 years of experience in the travel industry, from her public service as a passport specialist with the U.S. Department of State to building her own travel business as a travel advisor. And in her role, she assists new and experienced advisors with finding the best option for their business. And she works and resides in the big state of Texas in Dallas-Fort Worth. So please remember that you're all muted, but we do welcome your questions. And you can just put those in the questions area that you see on the right-hand side of your screen. You can open it up with a little arrow and type in your questions, and we'll get to those questions at the end of the presentation after the ladies are all done with the presentation, and we'll take it from there. And today's going to be kind of cool. It's going to be a little bit different today. The topic is get instant access to top travel advisor secrets for increased expertise, sales, and efficiency. And we welcome some very successful travel advisors today to join us. And I'm going to let the Nexion ladies go ahead and introduce them. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to the ladies with Nexion. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you, Joni. We are so excited to be here, and good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm actually Carlin Okamura. I am the sales manager group, and today I'm here with Crystal Hay and Erica Banghart, also on our sales team. And just a little background on Nexion Travel Group. We have been hosting for over 28 years as a host agency. And here at Nexion, we offer complete solutions, whether you are new to the industry, experienced, corporate, or part of a multi-agent agency. Our comprehensive approach gives all of our advisors the freedom and the independence to operate their agencies in their own way. And with our support services and industry clout on their side, our Nexion advisors can focus on selling all the travel, or also I should say all the different types of travel, from leisure to corporate, luxury to budget, FIT, groups, and more. And so today we're excited to do something a little different, and we're going to talk about the future of travel with some of our Nexion Travel Group advisors. Alrighty, and so today's panel discussion will be facilitated by our very own Erica Banghart. Erica has been with Nexion Travel Group since August of 2016 and a certified travel industry executive. So she has her CTIE through the Travel Institute. And Erica was first an agent with Nexion and then joined our sales team in March of 2020. In addition to sales recruiting, Erica works with Travel Leaders of Tomorrow, as Joni mentioned, as well as Nexion to create engaging education content for both new and experienced advisors. And now I'm going to hand it off to Erica.
Thank you so much, Carlin. Today, I am thrilled to be joined by two of the three panelists that you see on your screen here. Unfortunately, Carl has encountered a travel delay and is now in an airplane on his way back from Italy. So unfortunately, he is not able to join us. but he was able to send his thoughts in ahead of time. So Carlin is going to be speaking on Carlin's, or Carl and Carlin, that's going to get confusing. Carlin is going to be speaking on Carl's behalf. But with that, I would like to introduce Denise and Christy. So Denise, please come on and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hi, thank you so much for having me. So my name is Denise Del Vecchio, and I am the president of Magic Destinations Travel that's located in Midlothian, Texas. Um, I specialize in adult-only travel, so really focusing on empty nesters. As an empty nester myself, I help other empty nesters get to reconnect with each other and start dating each other again, so they're ready to run away together instead of away from each other. So that's a little bit about what I do.
I love that. Thank you, Denise.
You're
Christy,
welcome.
welcome. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thanks so much for having me on today. My name is Christy Bartlett, and I own Daydream Cruise and Travel out of Round Rock, Texas. I've been in business for about 9 years now and currently have 2 independent contractors on board with me. I'm kind of in the middle of a little shift in my focus. I'm going to be leaning more towards the luxury cruise side of things and FITs, and then my sub-agents are going to pick up all the cruises and the family travel that have been carrying us along for the last 9 years.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I'll share a little bit about Carl. He's been with us here at Nexion for a little over 10 years. He's part of Carl's Cruises and Travel. He loves cruising, and like Christy, he focuses on the luxury cruise space. So Denise and Christy, we thought it would be fun to do a little get to know you game with our panelists here. So I asked you to come up with 2 truths and a lie as they pertain to your travel business. And I think the 2 of you have a little bit of an unfair advantage being friends. So I think that puts
We didn't brainstorm at all.
not in a great position to try to figure this out. But we're going to ask you to share those, and then we are going to try to decipher which one is the lie. So Denise, I'll start with you.
Okay, so just give you all 3, correct?
Yes, please.
All right, so when I first became a travel advisor, I was a cruise specialist, but I had never been on a cruise despite being so successful. In this industry, you really never know where your clients are going to come from. One trip that I took, I was at the Hidden Beach Resort in Mexico, and I met this really sweet couple, and that led to my very first cruise group. It was a clothing optional small ship charter. Pretty lucrative. CrossFit is what brought me to the travel industry. So there you go.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, Carlin, I'm going to invite you. Yes, you're back on the line. I have a feeling, like I said, I think Christy might know the answer to this. What do you think?
I know, Denise, my goodness, there's so many to choose from, and they all sound like they could all be truths. So I am just going to guess maybe that CrossFit brought you to travel. Is the lie?
That is. No.
I'm going, no, oh, I
Sorry.
was going to go. I was going to go with never being on a cruise. I feel like that couple story is just too good of a story that we need to hear at another point in time.
So now do I give my answers?
Yes. What it was the lie?
So the lie was that I had been to the Hidden Beach Resort and met a couple and sold it.
Oh, we're both wrong.
Got us. We totally fell for it. Oh, that's fantastic.
It's all about the details. Actually, so when I first started, I wanted to be a cruise specialist, and I was doing very well at it. Matter of fact, the first cruise that I sold, my husband, I could feel him staring at me because we were doing this together, and I just looked. I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Did you just sell that?" I said, "Yes." They have no idea you've never been on a cruise. Nope. Did you tell them that you'd never been on a cruise? I said, no. How did you do that? I said, well, I took all my training. I answered all their questions. And when they asked me something that I didn't know, I said, that's a great question. Let me find that answer for you. That's what we do. We don't know everything about everything there is to, place to go out there, but we do have the tools that we have been given during all of our training to be able to find those answers. And then the other thing about, CrossFit is the reason that I got into the industry. Before I was in the travel industry, I was a cake designer. And I also decided that at 40 years old, I was going to get into great shape and I was going to take CrossFit. But the number one rule of CrossFit is that you leave your ego at the door. Unfortunately, I'm very competitive. So I was trying to keep up with all these 20-year-olds, and we were doing ring dips, and my body went one way and my shoulder went the other. So I could no longer do cakes anymore because they were too heavy and my shoulder just wouldn't cooperate. So my husband talked me into coming into the industry with him. He had started the agency and he's like, well, just come sell with me. So CrossFit really did bring me to the travel industry.
Wow, I love that story.
That's
Thank you
great
so much
story.
for sharing that. Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome.
All right, Christy, you're up. I would love to know your two truths and a lie. Tell us your three items, and Carla and I'll try to guess.
Alrighty. Let's see. I had non-vaccinated clients that consistently traveled through COVID and they kept my business afloat. Let's see. I signed up for the Travel Leaders of Tomorrow program and then on with Nexion because of my husband's second cousin. And then my last little tidbit of fact here is I'm going to be hosting a distinctive voyage cruise for 18 nights to Australia and New Zealand on Regent Seven Seas next March.
Oh boy, there you go with the details that she could be getting us, Carlin.
I know.
What do you think?
Goodness, that's a tough one. I'm going to say that you had the non-vaccinated clients. Well, it actually could be true because I've heard of that happening.
That was what I was gonna say.
But yes, I will go with that pick as well. So non-vaccinated clients traveling through COVID.
That's gonna be my guess too, Christy. Are we right?
Nope, I had non-vaccinated clients that traveled all throughout COVID and literally kept my business afloat. They traveled every 6 months. It was a group of 9 of them, and they were fantastic. They just wanted to travel.
Wow, that's fantastic. All right, so what is the lie?
That I'm hosting a distinctive voyage cruise for 18 nights in Australia and New Zealand.
You had too many details and they almost went with that. You got me. You guys were good.
It's what I would like to do.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you guys so much for sharing. So before we jump into our questions, the whole purpose of today's, panel is, to share those advisor secrets for increased expertise, sales, and efficiency. And I want to touch on something that Denise shared that I think is so important to those of you who may be a little bit newer to the industry on the line with us. It can be a little scary when you're getting started, right? Nobody's been everywhere, no matter how well traveled they are. That's just impossible. And you're going to run into those situations where you're going to be put in a situation where you just frankly, don't know the answer. You don't have experience. But what I love about what Denise shared is you may not have that personal experience, but you know where to look. You have the tools and resources as travel advisors at your disposal that allow you to be of assistance to your clients. And I absolutely love that you made that point, Denise. I think that's really important for all of us to keep in mind. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
All right. Well, with that, let's jump into our first question. So my first question for you guys today is, if you could pick one Nexion tool or resource that has been most influential in your success, what would it be? And I know this can be a little bit difficult because we have so many tools and resources. So, Christy, I'll start with you this time. What would be one tool or resource that you think is most influential in your success?
You're right. We do have a lot to pick from. I would say those small group training opportunities. I've been to several. I've been to the original boot camp, the groups, the marketing, and a couple others. Oh, Nexion regionals are in there. But groups kind of sticks out in my head right now. The training we had in Puerto Vallarta literally made me think outside the box. It took 2 years to implement after going, but since then I've had several successful cruise groups go. But I am considering going again just to kind of hone in on those skills that I learned the first time around.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Denise, I'll let you answer this one.
Well, I mean, just like Christy said, we have so many tools to choose from, and it's really hard to pick just one. I went back and forth, and I couldn't decide between Nexion University or Immersive Journeys, and I finally decided with Immersive Journeys. Um, Nexion has these small little trips that they put together, and they typically focus on something. They might focus on the destination, or they might focus on getting better with social media. But the biggest thing about it is that it not only lets you meet other agents that you can then later network with, but you also you get an opportunity to visit properties or just get immersive in that whole journey, and it really helps you to come back and be able to implement that into your business. So that gives you that opportunity to maybe visit, if you've never been to Cozumel, then it gives you that chance to visit Cozumel. Or if you've never been to Aruba, you might have that opportunity to go visit Aruba at that time. And then you can come back when your clients are asking for that, or even be proactive and start selling that destination because you've been able to become so immersed in it. So yeah, immersive journeys.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing. So, Carlin, I'm going to let you speak on behalf of Carl and share what I'm sensing a little bit of a theme here, what his answer to
Yeah,
this question was.
I'm excited to share on behalf of Carl. And like Denise and Christy, Carl said, there's really a lot of tools and resources and events, and it's so hard to pick just one. But if he had to, he really loves our Nexion events, and he regularly attends our annual member conference that we call Connection. Carl mentioned that he especially likes attending our annual member conference as it's really a great opportunity to learn and share and grow. And he loves the experiences and insights and the fun that he gets from the general sessions, the workshops, and the opportunity to network with the Nexion staff, supplier partners, and his fellow Nexion members. And I just have to add on to Carl's, our members, as you can hear Denise and Christy sharing, but really they love networking because everyone here at Nexion is like a big family community. And it's so exciting that at the end of our member conferences, we usually will announce where our next year's conference will be. And as soon as registration opens, it sells out pretty quickly. I think last year conference sold out. We thought it was a record at 72 hours. This year, I believe it sold out in like 31 hours after we opened registration. And so that is how much fun and learning and sharing and growing that our members do with each other.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, definite theme. Our events definitely are something that we are very proud of and, really love the feedback that advisors enjoy them as much as we do. So thank you all. All right, my next question, and this one's for you, Denise. Our annual membership conference that we just wrapped up aboard the Celebrity Equinox, you were named our Nexion Townie of the Year. So I'm going to ask you, well, first, I guess before I do that, I should share with our audience what Nexion Town is. That is our members only social platform that is built into our My Nexion portal. And that's where you can interact and collaborate with your fellow Nexion advisors. So Denise, feel free to expand upon that and then tell us a little bit about what you love about the platform.
Well, as I mentioned before, or maybe I didn't mention this, it was different. I've been asked about this twice today. One of the things I enjoy is helping other people. And, and earlier I mentioned how we're not going to know everything about every destination. One of the things about the Nexion Town is that it allows us to access other agents that are in our Nexion family. So if we have a question about something, we can go on there and we can pose the question, and someone else is bound to have the knowledge about and be able to answer that question for us, and they usually do. So yes, that's one of the great things I love about it. It's like having a giant knowledge base for travel. Because we have so many people that have so many different experiences and so many different levels that they've been, in this travel industry. Like Christy, I call her several times. I'll ask her, say, "Hey, remind me again about this Royal Caribbean rule," and she'll say, "Oh yeah," and blah 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 blah. Or if I don't book a lot of cruises, so I'll call her and say, "Okay, I need you to walk me through this booking engine again," and she's always happy to do that because she's part of my Nexion family. But yes, so and then I forgot what your other question was.
No, that's okay. No, that was perfect. Thank you. That's one of the things is that kind of feeling of community that I know Carlin touched upon. We hear that so often from advisors that are coming to us maybe from other agencies, that we really do have something special here at Nexion, and it is that sense of community. Yes, technically, you guys are all in competition with one another, right? But really, because your business has no geographic boundaries to it, but it's that sense of community, that pride in helping one another that is so incredibly, it's just amazing that we have that here at Nexion and that you can draw upon those experiences of your other advisors. So I love that. Thank you for sharing, Denise.
You're welcome.
All right, our next question. This one was for Carl, but Carlin's going to share his response. And this was, how has Nexion helped grow your business?
Thank you, Erica. I just wish Carl was here to share because he just had some amazing success. But Carl said his biggest success was attending one of our Alma Waterways immersive journeys to create $570,000 in sales. Denise mentioned earlier about our immersive journey program. So this particular one was our inaugural event. And our immersive journey programs really allow our members to experience preferred suppliers, brands, and destinations, along with specific themed education. And it allows you to travel like your client would, receiving hands-on practical education around a specific topic, and really helps you to come back and provide firsthand knowledge to your clients. And we found that the sales of our advisors that attend an immersive journey, they've seen an average of 102% increase year over year on the particular brand that they experienced. So for this, Carl used the strategies that he learned on board to set his business goals. He capitalized on the immersive journey by creating a group before sailing. Upon his return, he then scheduled a virtual cruise night with his BDM, or business development manager, with a special incentive to book within 2 weeks. He then shared a personal video from Kirsten Karst for those who signed up but hadn't yet committed. And then he booked 40 people of a cruise this summer, resulting in a sale of $326,000, which consisted of 17 new clients. And of the 40 people on board, 34 of them were actually new to river cruising. So basically that one cruise had a halo effect of 6 other FIT bookings that resulted in an additional $77,000 in sales, which has already springboarded his 2024 group with anticipated earnings in excess of $170,000. So really Carl recommends what he calls his 3 Bs. And it is be choiceful, Pick the best suppliers that can align with your business goals. Secondly, to build relationships with your hosts, resources, and your top suppliers. And Nexion has so much to offer on that. And his third is to be bold, to think big and seize the moment. So Carl, from attending this One Alma Immersive Journeys, has created so much additional growth in his sales.
Thank you so much, Carlin. Yeah, it's really fun. So, we mentioned that we had our annual membership conference recently, and Carl actually spoke about this in his success. And yes, we're very disappointed that you don't get to hear about this in his own words, but it just shows, the different tools and resources we have available and how amazing they can be to help you grow your individual business. I love that it was completely unsolicited. The ladies, Denise spoke about, an immersive journey being one of her, favorite tools and resources that really has contributed to her success. And as Carlin mentioned, what we love about it is it's very different from a traditional FAM experience. You're actually getting the opportunity to travel like your clients travel. So you're really experiencing that product or service in a different way. It's not a FAM where we've all been on those where you go to so many different properties and you are just exhausted by the time they're done. You're going to actually get to experience, whether it be a cruise or a destination like your clients would. And I think that really is beneficial. Carl had never been on an Alma Waterways river cruise, and that experience helped him propel his business so exponentially. So, for those of you that, may be on the line, not yet with Nexion, it certainly is a great resource, but honestly, you could also, translate that into your individual travel businesses, regardless of the hosts that you may or may not be with. Take advantage of some of those experiences that you might have where yes, you might have to pay, to do things, but it also is really important not just to go on those fam trips, but to travel like your clients do. You're going to get so much valuable information that way. So thank you, Carlin, for speaking on behalf of Carl. All right. So Christy, I would love, so again, at our annual conference, you were named our Ambassador of the Year. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about what that award means to you and what makes you a great ambassador?
Well, that was a wow moment when that happened. It was quite a shock and a very big honor. I know quite a few of the past ambassador winners, and it truly is humbling to be brought into that particular circle of names. I like connections. I know that sounds weird coming off of connection, but I do like connections with people, and I'm kind of nosy by nature. So I ask a lot of questions about people and their businesses. And so there's a lot of information flowing my way. And so, as we know, listening is key. And so I like connecting people together that have a similar interest or a concern. And I like connecting agents to the right products or host. And I think in regards to that, I do a pretty good job. And I think people kind of took notice of what I've been doing this last year. And they nominated for me for this, and it was incredible. I was very thankful.
That's
I nominated
great.
you, my friend.
I know you had several nominations, so congratulations. No, that's excellent. And being an ambassador is, not just helping to, promote, Nexion, but being such a valuable resource for your fellow travel advisors and anyone that's looking for assistance. So you are very, very well deserving of the award, and we congratulate you for receiving it.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's switch gears here a little bit and let's open up another question to all of our panelists. So, we're talking a lot about, our sense of community here at Nexion and how that has really helped propel your success and those kind of tips and tricks that you're sharing with our audience today. So, how has your Nexion community helped in your professional development? And I'll start with Carlin for Carl.
Great. So here is what Carl says. So Carl says that the relationships that he has with the suppliers, other Nexion advisors, and Nexion staff are all critical to his success. And his focus is on luxury travel. He regularly attends our luxury sales summit in addition to our connection, and share that like connection. He really loves all the learning that he can get from the business development and educational teams, from our suppliers and his colleagues as well.
Well, that's great. Thank you. Denise, how has your Nexion community helped your professional development?
Well, I don't know that I can follow up. I think he said everything. I think I'm just going to go back to the family. So Vicki Freed made a suggestion one year about how we should create our board of directors, and that's kind of our tribe that of people who we can turn to, who we can trust to be able to tell us when we're being stupid or when we come up with a great idea. And I think that's one of the things about our Nexion community that's helped me, is that I know that I have that board of directors from my community, that they're not my competitors, they're my colleagues. Even though I work from my own home office, I still have colleagues within my Nexion community. And I think that's important, because when you work from home, it's so easy to feel like you're on an island all by yourself. But with our Nexion community, it really helps to know that we're not alone, because I know that I can reach out and there's someone that's going to help me.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Yeah, Christy, what would you like to share?
So what we haven't touched on yet is even smaller within the Nexion is our Nexion network groups that we've got in different cities throughout the country. And that is truly one of my greatest resources that I get to tap into. The relationships with my area's local agents it's been very impactful. I have 5 Circle of Excellence winners within a 15-mile radius of me. So there is a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, and a lot of different outlooks that aren't always how I see things. So it's really good to have that sounding board, much like Denise said. I kind of feel like I've got my own little cheering section, and I hope I'm cheering everybody else along just as much of that as they do with me. I'm also really fortunate to, beyond the Austin area, I've got a very strong network of travel advisor friends throughout the country that I can bounce ideas off of, I can commiserate with, we can cheer for. It truly is a family.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. So along those lines of Nexion networks, Denise, do I remember correctly? Are you a Nexion network leader?
Yes, I am. So in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we actually have 2 networks because it's such a large area. First, we had the one that was just Dallas, and it tended to be things that were more on the very far side of Dallas, the north side. North side. Had to directionally challenged sometimes. But things were always happening over there. And then we had so many agents that were on the southwest side of the FW network. We had people that were in Fort Worth and Aledo, Waxahachie, Midlothian, Mansfield, Arlington. And so I approached Nexion and said, hey, I would love to be able to attend these events, but they're so far away that I can either drive 2 hours with traffic and go to an event that's on the other side of Dallas, or I can drive 2 hours without traffic and go to Austin to something over there. Most of the times I'm driving to Austin and to see Christy.
I'd invite you to all of them.
She did actually. And then Christy is the one that actually said, hey, why don't you just do a Southwest Dallas network? And I don't know. That would be one more thing to do. And she's, you can do it. So I did. I approached Nexion and said, hey, can we have something in Southwest Dallas? And then the next question was, are you going to be the leader? So here I am.
Nice.
Well, I love these stories. And sorry, Erica, I was going to say that what I heard earlier too, like with Denise and Christy having this really close friendship relationship, and they could share maybe a little how they actually met and became such good friends.
All right, Christy. So which story shall we share?
We got to start with the original. You know, we were actually we went to the Nexion network, the Nexion boot camp in September 9 years ago is where we met. And we actually met a couple other agents that we're still very good friends with. So that's kind of what kicked it off. Was we were all deer in the headlights, staring there, being brand new, around the same age, brand new agents.
And we bonded over being new. And then we started seeing each other at more events. We Cruise World. Remember the first Cruise World that we all went to, or Christy and I went to. Yeah, so we've had a lot of adventures outside of the Nexion events, and and all those kind of help you bond.
Nice. Thanks for
Absolutely.
sharing that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. You know, I was going to share a personal anecdote as well. You guys have both touched on a couple of things. As Carlin read in my bio, I actually started as an advisor with Nexion as well. I went through the Travel Leaders of Tomorrow training program, and some of my very best Nexion friends are exactly the same as you guys. It wasn't boot camp. It was a boot camp actually, that I attended in Dallas and met some great friends, and talking about that community and how it can be a little isolating sometimes. We all have the fantasy of, oh, I want to be my own boss and set my own hours and work from home. But then the reality of that is that can be hard, especially when you're starting out in an industry that's unfamiliar to you. And some of the friends that I met in my boot camp class way before COVID and Zoom was a real thing that everybody was used to, we would get together. We would get together on FaceTime, and we would come up with ideas on how we could grow our business, and we'd work on best practices and forms and things. And there would be days when we would just sit there on FaceTime all day and just working independently, pretending that we were all in the same office together. And that was amazing, having those connections with one another. And so whether you are all located in one area where you can network together in those Nexion networks, as we call them, or regardless of where you're located in the United States, there really are those additional opportunities for support. And I think it's really important to find that tribe and find those friends in the industry that you can call upon when you've got those questions, or maybe need assistance or coverage while you're really trying to take a vacation and not work, which I think is hard. I don't know if any of us have ever mastered what that looks like, but it really is important to have those opportunities and those connections. So thank you all so much for sharing that. Well, that is actually all of the questions that I had that we had kind of put together ahead of time. What I would like to do before we go over just a couple of, things about Nexion is love to open it back up to my panelists and see if there's anything else that you would like to share, either about, your experience at Nexion in the industry with one another. I'll open it up.
I'll hop in here. What I truly appreciate about Nexion is that they do let us run our business how we see fit, but they are always there to answer our questions and be a sounding board for us as well. Another really great thing, I think somebody talked about it earlier. I think it was Carl's comments about the supplier connections that we have. It's amazing. The partnerships that Nexion has with suppliers is very strong, and it's very real, and I very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Christy. Yeah, that's a great point. I appreciate you saying that.
Another thing that I'd like to bring up too, it's, and it comes back to the community. Even the leadership in the Nexion is approachable. Never in my life working in professionally have I been in an industry or in an industry where the president of the company walks up and says, "Hey, Denise, how are you doing today?" That just doesn't happen. And I've noticed that Jackie, she makes herself available to everyone, whether you are new to the industry or you've been in the industry for 30 years. The leadership within Nexion is always very approachable. And I think that's wonderful. It's so welcoming for people.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I often will tell people, I'm very fortunate. I have the opportunity to travel with Jackie several times a year, and it is like traveling with a rock star. If you're in the travel industry, you know Jackie Friedman. And I swear we have a little swarm of paparazzi that surrounds us everywhere we go. But she is very approachable and just so well known and so well respected in the industry. And that leadership certainly trickles down to the entire Nexion organization. And we are all very, very lucky to have her at the helm. Absolutely. Well, Carlin, do you feel like channeling your inner Carl? Do you have anything else that you would like to share before we turn it over to Crystal?
So I think Carl pretty much covered everything in his prior thoughts, but he did want to just stress along the same lines with the Nexion that he loves that the community, the family feeling, the leadership, just the flexibility to book all types of travel, even though he might be more focused on luxury. If he has that one-off family that needs more of a budget travel and so forth, whether you're doing groups, adventure travel, any type of travel, he's just loves that he can do that with Nexion.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, again, I want to thank all of my panelists so much for being with us today. And Crystal, I'm going to turn it over to you to just share a little bit more about Nexion.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I have loved, enjoyed listening to everything you guys have said. Not to mention, we have a big presence of Texas on here. So,
Of course.
I'm a part of the Southwest team as well. So, I have enjoyed the events that you guys have put together for the area. So, thank you for that.
Thank you.
When you select a host agency, you want to partner with an exceptional host agency that can be there for you and, of course, support you. So, with Nexion Travel Group, you can sign up with flexible membership options. We have a one-time activation fee per agency and no annual renewal fees. So, you get thousands of dollars of benefit with very little investment. We're the best value you're going to get. You have your choice of plan types with your commission splits ranging up to 90%. If you are new to the industry and want to kickstart your business with our Next Start training and mentoring program, you start with 60% of non-ARC commissions. Now, those that are experienced agent, you can opt in to keep 70 to 90% of your non-ARC commissions. And you can also add on additional agents under our Nexion 80 and 90 plans. Our commission percentages will vary by plan type, so there's no long-term contract, no transaction, or per invoice fees. And your commissions will be deposited directly into your bank account twice a month.
Crystal, can I interrupt really quick?
Absolutely.
I just want to share that as of October 1st, so for 2 days, we have relaunched our new Nexion 100 plan. So we have commissions from 70 to 100%.
That's right.
So I just wanted to put that in there. I'm sorry, please continue.
Perfect. Thank you, Erica. That's correct. I forgot. Yeah, October 1st. And it's already the 3rd. So just a quick recap. At Nexion Travel Group, we help you to promote your agency with ease and your value as a travel professional through effective marketing programs at no additional cost. Work more efficiently and simplify the booking process with tools and technology that reduce operating costs and enhance your revenue. You earn more for your hard work with top tier commissions with more than 145 air, cruise, and land suppliers. I think it's 150 plus. Grow professionally in award-winning business development and education. You plant solid, respected roots in the travel industry through productive and professional networking with the most supportive people and suppliers in the industry, and be affiliated with a stable, forward-thinking company. So we are stronger together. Now to Carlin.
Perfect. Thank you, Crystal. And before we move into questions, we feel that it's really important to go over our vision, mission, and core values here at Nexion Travel Group. And on your screen there, you can see our vision. It's to be the most valued and respected host travel agency. And our mission is to empower our advisor members, partners, and employees with the most innovative partnerships, education, and support. And just to quickly show you our core values here, that would be shoot for the stars, members first, we do what's right, and everyone is in. Alrighty, and Joni, at this
I'm
time
back.
we will be perfect.
Fantastic,
And then
ladies.
sure, and on your screen, Joni, just for our members, or excuse me, for the advisors that are attending, they can scan the QR code with their phone if they're interested in getting more information, and we'll definitely reach back out to them as well.
That's perfect. I love these QR codes like this. It makes life so simple, doesn't it? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's so great. Thank you for that. And ladies, it was great. And Carl, you sounded really good as Carlin. Carlin sounded really good as Carl. That was well done. Tell Carl I think he did a great job from high up in the sky. But great presentation, lots of good information shared. I have to share that I couldn't agree more about the Nexion events. They are fantastic. I've been honored to be able to represent Travel Professional News at the most a number of years now at Connection, and just got off the Celebrity Equinox with the rest of you folks, and it was absolutely an unbelievable event. So my congratulations to your events team for putting on some amazing opportunities for travel agents. Really great. So it looks like we've only got one question. So if anybody has any questions that's still on here, be sure and put those in. We had a good number of people here. We have a good number of folks. So if you have any questions at all for the ladies, no question is a bad question. All questions are good. So go ahead and put them in here. But this one question that I do have in front of me came from Ryan, and he says, when a client seems interested, but isn't sure if they want to pay or put down a deposit, how do you overcome that? I think that goes to our agents here. So I think, ladies, maybe you both want to answer that.
Christy, I'll let you take that one.
The question is if they're reluctant to put down a deposit?
Yeah, how do you overcome that objection? When it comes time to ask for the money, and then that's when they start to back off a little bit. How do you overcome that?
So I think it's a question of going back and figuring out kind of where I'm missing the mark. Because if they're not ready to put down the deposit, it's probably not the right fit. So I need to go back and ask a few more questions, listen a little harder, and figure out what they're really truly asking for.
I'd have to say yeah with that one, because sometimes a client will ask you for the moon and the stars, but all they can really afford is the landscape. They can't afford what they're looking for, and they may have a little bit of sticker shock. So like Christy said, maybe go back and requalify what they're asking for.
Oh, that makes tons of sense. Great answer, ladies.
Yeah,
Great answer.
that's an excellent answer.
Anybody else want to throw any of the Nexion staff want to answer to that?
No, I think Christy absolutely nailed it on the head. I think, if they're not ready, if you haven't gotten them that excited, then you haven't yet presented them with the right option. And, it's all about that client qualification, asking that right combination of closed and open-end questions that are going to ultimately unveil what it is your client is looking for.
That makes sense. So I have to share with you this story because I was with some agents this last week, and it just made me think of this, and somebody will probably get this. So Virgin Voyages, as everybody knows, is a unique product, right? With no children on board, and very adult, and a completely different type cruise. And I've never been on it, so I can't speak from my experience. But I was with some agents that all had been on it before. And I asked them the question, I said, how do you qualify someone for that? Because it is kind of a little out there. It's a little different. And one of the gentlemen there, who's a really good travel advisor, said to me, he goes, well, when I start to talk about how they have a tattoo parlor on board and that there's an awful lot of optional clothing opportunities. If they start to clutch at the pearls around their neck, I know they're not likely going to like a particular sailing. Which made me laugh. It's like, yeah, I guess if you get a little bit of a shock of a look on your face when you're talking to your client, perhaps that's the wrong choice for them, right? I just had to share that because it just made me laugh, right? It's like, it's true. You know, you have to be so in tune to what they're saying without saying it. You know, you just have to, you're almost like a psychologist or a psychiatrist sometimes. You really got to listen and kind of dig it out of them what they really want. So I just thought I'd share that. It made me laugh. So does anybody else have any other questions, or did you have any more comments, ladies, that you'd like to make? So it looks like we don't have any more questions today.
No, I think that's a perfect story. It goes hand in hand with what we were just discussing.
Kind of
Thanks for
does,
sharing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you all so much for being here. And for the agents that came on today to listen to this presentation, thank you. And to you advisors that came here to share your expertise, thank you, ladies. And thank you, Carl, as well, for your information. And of course, thanks to my dear friends at Nexion. Really appreciate everything you all do. And we love hosting webinars for you guys. So everybody, just so you know, this is recorded and it will appear at travelprofessionalnews.com probably a little later this afternoon, or maybe tomorrow morning you'll see it, and it will be they're listed in the webinars area, the recorded webinars area under host agencies, and you'll find this recording if you'd like to listen to it again or share it with any of your friends. So with no further questions and all, I think I'm going to say my goodbyes. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and thank you.
Thank you, Joni.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joni.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye guys.